Okay, picture this. It is January 11th, 1945. You're in the cockpit, maybe 500 feet off the ground over the Philippines, jungle just rushing by below you.
Mm-hmm.
You look up, and there they are. 13 enemy aircraft in formation. 13.
And you've got one wingman. That's it.
2 planes against 13.
The math is just, it's terrible. I mean, the survival manual and, frankly, just common sense says you stay low. You stay quiet.
You go home.
You go home and live to fight another day. Yeah.
Right. But Captain William Shomo, he didn't do that. He pulled back on the stick and started a fight that lasted less time than it takes to brew a pot of coffee.
6 minutes. And in those 6 minutes, he didn't just survive. He came back with one of the most statistically impossible stat lines in the history of aerial warfare.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into the archives of the 82nd Tactical Reconnaissance Squadron. We're talking mission logs, gun camera analysis, the works to tell the story of the Flying Undertaker.
And for once, that nickname isn't just, military bravado. It's literal. Before the war, William Shomo was a trained mortician.
A trained mortician, so a man who knew how to bury people before he knew how to shoot them down.
That's exactly. He went to the Cincinnati College of Embalming. It's a very specific skill set to bring to the Pacific Theater.
That is just such a grim, perfect detail. So our mission today is to figure out how a guy goes from being a frustrated reconnaissance pilot, basically a glorified flying photographer, to an ace in a day in one morning.
It's a classic case study in what happens when, years of preparation finally collide with this fleeting window of opportunity. Because if you look at Shomo's file before 1945, it is not a list of victories.
No, it's a list of frustrations.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that long wait, because I think we all have this movie version of fighter aces in our heads, guys who are constantly dogfighting, racking up kills. But Shomo had flown 203 combat missions starting in early 1943.
203.
Yeah.
And his kill count was a big fat 0.
That just seems impossible. Was he just bad at it or unlucky?
It was neither, really. It came down to his job description and the hardware he was using. He was in the 82nd Tactical Reconnaissance Squadron.
The eyes.
They were the eyes of the Army, exactly. Their job was to fly over beaches, supply dumps, jungle positions, and just take photos.
So while the fighter jocks are out there painting kill markings on their planes, Shomo is basically doing high-speed surveying.
And he's doing it in equipment that, frankly, had no business chasing actual fighters. For the first 16 months, he was flying P-39 Airacobras and P-40 Warhawks.
Okay, I know the P-40, the one with the shark mouth, usually. But the P-39, why was that such a handicap?
The P-39 is a weird bird. The engine was actually behind the pilot, which gave it a really strange center of gravity. Great cannon in the nose, but its performance at altitude was poor. The real killer for Shomo, though, was the range.
How bad are we talking?
A combat radius of maybe 260 miles.
Which, in the Pacific Theater, with all that ocean, is what, the distance to the grocery store and back?
Pretty much. The Japanese airfields, places like Robo or Wewak, they were way, way beyond his reach. So while the guys in the P-38 Lightnings or P-47s could fly deep into enemy territory and pick fights, Shomo was just tethered to the coast.
He was watching the war from the sidelines.
An undertaker with no customers. It must have been maddening.
Yeah. But then, things change. The hardware finally catches up to the ambition. December 1944.
This is the turning point. The squadron takes delivery of the F-6D Mustang.
Now, for anyone listening who isn't an aviation buff, F-6D sounds like...
Yeah, well, it sounds like a camera plane.
It sounds innocent, right? But it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. The F-6D is literally a P-51D Mustang, arguably the best all-around fighter of the war. They just added some cameras in the fuselage.
So it still had the guns.
Oh yeah, it kept all 6.50 caliber machine guns, it kept the speed, but the game changer was the legs.
The range.
With drop tanks, it could fly over 1,400 miles. Suddenly, that tether is cut. Shomo isn't stuck on the coast anymore, he can finally get to the fight. And he doesn't waste any time. He takes command of the squadron, they move to the Philippines to support the landings, and then... January 10th, 1945, the day before the main event.
Right, the warm-up. He's on a mission over to Gurao Airfield, and he spots a Japanese Val dive bomber coming in to land. He shoots it down.
His first kill.
One burst, and it's down in flames, after 202 missions of absolutely nothing.
Wow. You can't underestimate the psychology of that. It breaks the seal.
It does. It proves the plane works, and it proves he can kill. But, let's be honest. Shooting down a bomber that's landing... It's target practice. It's not a dogfight.
It's an appetizer. The main course is served 24 hours later, January 11.
Northern Luzon. Perfect weather-unlimited visibility. Shomo is leading the flight, and on his wing is a Lieutenant Paul Lipscomb.
And Lipscomb is a rookie, right?
Very green. He's 23 years old, and this is his first mission where, aerial combat is even a possibility. Their orders were standard. Fly on the deck, stay under radar, take some pictures.
So they're cruising along low and slow, doing the recon job, and then Shomo looks up.
At about 0900 hours, he spots aircraft at about 2,500 feet heading south.
And this isn't just a patrol, it's a convoy.
It's a heavy escort. Shomo counts 12 fighters surrounding one single twin-engine bomber.
Hold on, 12 fighters for one bomber? That seems excessive.
It's incredibly suspicious. You have to remember the context. The Americans had just landed at Lingayen Gulf. The Japanese were in full retreat.
So this is an evacuation.
And a single Mitsubishi Betty bomber, protected by 12 fighters, just screams, high-value target. Generals, VIPs, something critical. You don't risk 12 fighters for a mail run.
Okay, so Shomo sees this VIP convoy. The fighters are mostly Tonis, the Kawasaki Kai-61 and one Tojo.
Correct. And that Tojo, the Nakajima Ki-44, is important. It's a nasty interceptor built specifically to climb fast and hit hard. It's a very dangerous machine.
So Shomo has the photos he came for. He has a rookie on his wing. He is outnumbered 6-1. The smart move here is to just let them pass, isn't it?
Absolutely. The doctrinal move, his orders are recon. Engaging 13 enemy planes with 2 is, well, it's suicidal. You report the contact, you stay hidden.
But he'd been waiting for 16 months.
He had. He keys his radio and tells Lipscomb one word. Attack.
Just attack. So how does he even approach a formation that big without getting completely vaporized?
He uses the vertical. He's below them, so he pulls the Mustang into what's called an Immelman turn.
Walk me through that.
Okay, so he pulls up into a half loop, climbing hard. At the top of the loop, when he's inverted, he rolls the aircraft level.
So he basically uses his momentum to climb up and end up right behind them.
Directly behind them. Moving in the same direction, he just appeared in their back seat. And here's the wildest part.
What's that?
The Japanese didn't react.
Why not?
Mistaken identity. The P-51 was still pretty new in this specific theater. They likely saw 2 planes slotting into formation and just assumed they were friendly Tonys.
The Tony and the Mustang do look kind of similar, don't they?
Very similar silhouettes from a distance. Both have those inline engines. Sleek profiles. The Japanese pilots probably thought, oh, reinforcements. One report I read said a Japanese pilot actually opened his canopy and waved.
No way!
He waved. Can you imagine? He thought his buddies were joining up.
That is absolutely chilling.
And Shomo used that confusion ruthlessly. He closes to less than 40 yards. I mean, that is point blank in aerial combat. You can see the rivets on the other plane.
And then he opens up.
He fires on the trailing Tony. The 6.50 cals just tear it apart. It explodes. He immediately shifts his aim to the wingman boom. Second one down.
How fast are we talking?
Less than 3 seconds. For 2 kills.
The formation must have just panicked.
Total disintegration. Complete chaos. They see their wingman exploding. They don't know where it's coming from. They start breaking left, right, diving. Shomo just crosses to the left, kills a third Tony. Swings over to the right, kills a fourth.
It's less like a dogfight and more like an execution.
At this point, yeah. It was just efficient violence. He isn't turning and burning yet. He's just picking targets and deleting them.
Okay, so the escorts are scattering. What about the main prize? The Betty bomber.
The Betty dives to escape. Now, the Betty is dangerous from behind. It's got a 20-millimeter cannon in the tail.
So what's the move?
Shomo knows his aircraft anatomy. The Betty has a blind spot. Its belly. So he does a split S, rolls upside down, dives, and comes up right underneath the bomber.
Where they can't shoot back.
Exactly. He just pours fire into his fuselage from below. It catches fire, crashes. That's kill number 5. He's an ace.
But he isn't done. And now the surprise is completely gone.
And this is where it gets really hairy. Remember that one Tojo fighter? The interceptor?
It's the dangerous one, yeah.
He gets on Shomo's tail?
Yeah.
He is right there firing tracers. This is the moment the Undertaker almost became the customer.
So how do you shake a plane that's literally designed to kill fighters?
You outfly him. Shomo yanks the Mustang into an incredibly tight vertical spiral, just cranking the G-forces. The Mustang can handle it. The Tojo, not so much.
It couldn't hold the turn.
It couldn't hold the energy. The Japanese pilot tries to follow, pulls too hard, bleeds off all his airspeed, and just enters a high-speed stall. The plane quits flying and falls away.
So Shomo didn't even have to shoot him.
Didn't have to fire a shot. He maneuver killed him.
That is a flex.
It's pure skill. And as the Tojo falls away, Shomo spots 2 more Tonys trying to escape down on the deck. He dives after them, catches one, shoots it down, closes on the last one, shoots him down too.
Okay, let me tally this. That is 7.
7 confirmed kills for Shomo. And we can't forget the rookie, Lipscomb. He wasn't just watching. While all this was going on, he engaged and shot down 3 Tonys himself.
So out of the 13 enemy planes,
10 were destroyed. The other 3 got away in the clouds. And the entire fight, from the first shot to the last, took about 6 minutes.
10 planes down in 6 minutes, 2 Americans, 0 losses.
That's almost unbelievable.
So the fight's over. The adrenaline dump must be insane. They turned for home.
Yeah, and it's a 40-minute flight back to Mindoro.
Yep.
That's a long time to sit in that cockpit and process what you've just done. He took off that morning with 1 career kill. He's flying home an ace, +2.
We have to talk about the arrival back at base. Because there's a tradition for fighter pilots.
The victory roll, yeah. You shoot down a plane, you do a barrel roll over the airfield before you land. Tells the ground crew you got one.
Oh, roll 1 kill.
Exactly. So Shomo comes in low over the strip, and he rolls 1, 2, 3.
And the ground crew is probably thinking, wow, heck of a day, Captain.
But he keeps going. 4, 5. By now, people are running out of the mess tents. Generals are coming out of their buildings. Nobody gets 5 kills in a day. Just doesn't happen.
And he's still going.
6, 7. He does 7 victory rolls. The people on the ground literally thought he'd gone crazy, that he'd had a mental break.
And then Lipscomb comes in behind him.
And does 3 more.
10 rolls, 2 planes. The debriefing must have been awkward. You claim you did what?
Oh, there was huge skepticism at first. It sounds like a fisherman's tale, right? Except the F-6D is a recon plane. But it also had gun cameras synced to the trigger. It pulled the film, developed it that afternoon. It confirmed everything. Crystal clear footage of 7 Japanese aircraft exploding or crashing. The film didn't lie.
Let's circle back to the stats here, because you said earlier how rare this was.
It is statistically bizarre. If you look at Shomo's entire combat record, he cited a total of 14 enemy aircraft in the entire war.
Only 14.
14. And he destroyed 8 of them.
Yeah.
That is a 57% kill ratio. I mean, most top aces, guys like Bong or McGuire, they might see hundreds of enemy planes to get their scores. Shomo saw 14 and killed more than half of them.
That is just terrifying efficiency.
It puts him right at the very top. The only other American pilot with more kills in a single mission was Navy Commander David McCampbell, who got 9. But McCampbell was already a veteran ace. Shomo basically did this as a rookie in air-to-air combat.
So, of course, the military recognized this.
Immediately. In April 1945, Shomo was promoted to major and received the Medal of Honor. The citation mentions the extraordinary gallantry of attacking 13 planes with 2.
And he finally got a cool name for his plane to match the legend.
He did. His planes were always named Snooks, after his wife. But after this, he fully embraced the irony of his pre-war job. He named his final Mustang the Flying Undertaker.
Which is just perfect branding. But Shomo himself, he was pretty humble about it all, wasn't he?
Very. He lived until 1990, and in interviews, he always just chalked it up to luck. Said he was in the right place at the right time.
Do you buy that? Was it just luck?
I think luck provided the meeting. You know, the Japanese formation just happened to be there. But what happened in those 6 minutes? That wasn't luck. That was preparation. The man had spent 3 years training. He knew deflection shooting. He knew the aircraft's limits. He knew exactly how to perform a split test without tearing the wings off. When that moment came, he didn't panic. If he hadn't been that skilled, that Tojo on his tail would have turned him into a fireball.
It's that old saying, right? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. It's just amazing to think about the patience that required. Waiting all that time, flying 200 boring missions, just keeping your edge for a moment that might never come.
And that's the lesson. Most pilots in his squadron had probably, mentally checked out of the fighter war. They accepted their job was taking pictures. Shomo stayed ready.
So before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a thought about that split-second decision. When Shomo saw those 13 planes, he had every justification to just fly away.
It raises a fascinating question, about bravery versus calculation. Was tagging them reckless? Or did he look at the variables, his altitude, the sun, the superior speed of his Mustang, and calculate that the math was actually in his favor?
The Medal of Honor calls it intrepidity, which is a fancy word for fearless daring. But when you look at how systematically he took them apart, it feels less like daring and more like the work of a professional.
The Undertaker, just doing his job.
Exactly. If you want to see the actual gun camera footage, and I highly recommend you do, it's startlingly clear. You can find it in the archives. It really brings home just how fast all of this happened.
It's a piece of history that shows you just how quickly a tide can turn.
Thanks for diving in with us today. We'll catch you on the next one.